Welcome to the 171st episode of News Dump, where we run through the hottest topics in the Lewis County news scene and discuss. I'm local man Aaron VanTuyl, joined by Chronicle Editor-in-Chief Eric Schwartz, and a special guest this evening, Chronicle... I always forget your title.
You forget his title?
We're in the trust tree here. I can never remember.
We are
President,
trust tree.
CEO, publisher. What's Chad Taylor's
Yeah,
here.
Chad Taylor's here.
It's obviously the publisher. That's embarrassing, Aaron.
I
I don't think
know
you're
what?
going to
Not
be
really.
here after this
He's
podcast.
good. He's good. He's like, I didn't really like working here anyways.
So what do you do in here to the owner? Let's just
Yeah,
I love it.
what do
I
you
love
do?
it. I don't know what I do, really. Really, whatever Eric tells me to do, I do. No, you know what I end up doing is buying a whole bunch of stuff that's needed to be bought.
yeah.
Well, sometimes
cameras.
important things float down a river. And,
They do.
Or
they don't float down the river. They get sucked down some hole that only one person can find. Actually,
true.
only two people can find on a kayak.
Yeah. All right. We're also joined in spirit by sponsors Summit Funding, The Roof Doctor, and Shayla's Outfitters.
Do you wonder what they are as well?
Are they still a sponsor?
You bet
after
they
last
are.
week?
Damn right they are.
Oh, yeah.
Signed up to a 1-year deal, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Good. But
He said he wanted more than 1 year. He goes, if Aaron will give me more than 1 year, I'll take it. That's what he said.
Nobody has ever said that.
I'm willing to go long term with Shayla's Outfitters, you know.
We can call this exclusive?
Yeah,
Is that what you said?
multi-year
Okay.
deals.
We're going steady with Shayla's Outfitters now. You love to see it.
Nice.
Chad, I have been informed we are right around the 3-year anniversary of
Yes.
the Taylor takeover, some are calling
It's
it.
been awesome. It's been awesome. I hope that you guys have felt it too, but it's been amazing. When we first got here, it was scary because we had no idea how to, run a newspaper.
And it's a scary building, to be honest.
It is so spooky.
It's
up here.
terrifying.
It's kind of scary in this room.
It's true.
Yeah,
Good Lord.
that's just the way we like it.
No, but it's fun. We've had, it's been a great experience. We've gotten to increase the staff size since we've been here. Mm-hmm. We've gotten to give Eric some leeway to kind of increase the paper and add content and do things that he's wanted to do forever. Maybe.
No, absolutely.
No, it's been fun. It's been fun. I mean, the hardest part is working with people and then them having new opportunities and moving on. That's probably the hardest thing.
I know. I hate it when people close to me get opportunities.
I know. Sucks. Why didn't they come? Eric's like, why didn't they come to me?
We'll lead into that. Over the last 3 years, who has been your favorite member of the editorial staff?
Oh, man. Yeah, it's definitely been Eric.
Oh, come on.
Oh, that's a pander pick.
how
I know
could
it
you?
is. It is.
Who's your least favorite and why is it Aaron?
It's been Aaron the whole time.
I knew it.
I don't know. I just don't get along with liberals very much.
And yet here you are.
I know. It makes the best content when you have people that disagree with each other, I think.
Yeah.
You get all the stuff out on
I
there.
feel like we're going to disagree on at least one of these things. We might.
It might be a couple.
It could be.
I do want to co-sign on everything he said, though, about his contributions and Coralie's contributions.
Oh, I thought you were going to co-sign on me being the worst member of the editorial
Also,
staff.
you being the worst member of the editorial staff. It's been a great, positive 3 years here at the Chronicle.
I think so. Yeah.
This year marks 20 years since I first started here, well ahead of Aaron.
You are a few months away from your 20-year marker.
Pretty close, though.
Is it really
That's
20
a big
years if
one.
you weren't here the whole time?
2
No,
decades.
it's not. It's
No.
not. No, but I'm just saying I've seen it in a lot of forums over the last 2 decades, and these have been the most positive years. I've enjoyed all of my time and all of my bosses, but you guys have done a great job.
I have too.
Just kissing up here.
No, you know what? I said the same thing, though. Like, I never would have imagined that I love this industry more than I do. It's fun every single day. It's new. The people are awesome. And I get to work with people that sometimes I disagree with, which I really appreciate, actually.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I will co-sign on Schwartz. It has been very nice having you guys around here. You're always willing to, provide things the newsroom needs, and that hasn't always been the case.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna this studio that we're in right now is gonna be transforming. You want cameras? You want to do this live online? We're gonna be doing that for you.
None of that.
No problem.
Can we get like multiple angles and everything? Too?
Absolutely.
I want to see all of Aaron's butt hurt when he rants.
We're totally gonna do that. But I did line out one thing that Aaron had on the list. I'm not putting a couch in here.
No,
It's not happening.
No,
It's not happening.
You won't just let me move in here.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's get into the news portion. The first item we've got, it's a sad one. Jack State, longtime WFS tennis coach, passed away over the weekend. He was 80 years old. What are you guys' thoughts on Jack State? Do you have any? Hey, Chad, you were around Chehalis a long time. I'm sure you bumped into him a few times.
I did. How could you not? I bumped into his knees. The guy was
big
tall.
Guy, 6'8". His email at one point, he sent me some tennis stuff when I was a sports reporter, and his email was like 6'8 Jack State at Gmail or something. He
embraced it.
Yeah, he loved it.
He did. All of his kids were tall too. I remember one of his daughters, Kristen, was towering over everyone. I mean, kids grow boys tend to grow a little bit later. Mm-hmm. She was I think she was 6'8" when she was going into high school.
Yeah,
great
she
family.
was great family. She was a great tennis player. His son Kyle was a basketball player. I think I played Sun League or something with him. He was my age, and he was 6'6" or so. Nice guy.
Yeah, I heard great stories about the kids that went through the tennis program that got to hear stories and be coached by him, and they really appreciated it and enjoyed it.
He was an All-American at Eastern Washington.
That's what I like to hear.
Whoa.
Close to your heart, Schwartz. Mm-hmm. And then coached basketball in WF West, taught physical education, and, of course, coached tennis for 50 years, I think. And he basically picked up that job because he was the only one on staff that knew how to keep score. He was a great presence at Chehalis and a great guy.
Absolutely.
Next item, Representative Jim Walsh seeks to introduce striking amendment to proposed bill shielding police from frivolous legal actions. Walsh licked his finger, held it up in the air, and said, "You know what? If anything, we're holding police too accountable for what they do." This is about House Bill 1025, which means you can sue the police if they hurt or kill you or a loved one. And setting the bill aside, Walsh has said he wants to change virtually everything about it. And about this bill he's filing, he says, "You can think of this amendment as a best-of compilation, a set of enhancements to a bill sorely in need of improvement, many of which were submitted during last year's legislative session." He basically, what is the point of this? So a striking bill, what is that? This seems like...
Legislatively, I don't understand it, but I understand.
That's what I'm getting.
I understand the purpose of it, though.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know what a striking bill is either.
I mean, you think about the first day of media availability, and Mitchell went up. The story was the state needs more police officers. I'm not saying they need bad police officers. I'm saying that I think this is part of a broader effort to prevent any further back of rolling, of preventing law enforcement officers from doing their jobs when they don't have enough of them.
Yeah. And I agree. If we're hiring more good police officers,
absolutely.
I think that's a good... then I'm
hard stance for me. I'll die on that hill. We should only have good police officers.
Only have good ones. No, this was. Are you familiar with the amendment that he's trying to strike? Why he's trying to strike it?
No, please.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So the thought is that right now, if you're arrested or you get thrown in jail and then you feel like you were wrongly accused or treated poorly. Currently, when you sue the state, right? You'd sue the officer, the jurisdiction who arrested you. Mm-hmm. If you take away the immunity that a police officer would have protecting his family, if you make a mistake as a cop, usually a lot of bad things happen. Right now, if you make a mistake, the city, there's insurance, there's a bunch of things that can make that mistake not okay, but make it whole, I guess, or not whole. If somebody dies, that's a bad example. But you want to, the officer, if this bill or this amendment were to pass and they would be held personally liable, their family could be sued. They could be held personally liable for a mistake they make on the job. I don't know if I explained that very accurately.
You can
but it's
sue
hard.
an officer's family for something the cop does?
Well, I mean, you basically are.
Yeah,
If you
absolutely.
the cop.
If you hold them personally liable, if the officer's married, then you will affect his entire family, his kids, his wife, everybody. You could potentially put them out on the street. I mean, if they're a bad cop, who they're going to get held accountable anyways. I would hope.
I mean, do other professions have that same protection though, to where you can't be you personally can't be sued?
I think the idea would be elevated protection for law enforcement officers.
Mm-hmm. Is it?
Yeah, I don't think that this is
currently you can't sue them personally, right? They have an immunity.
I don't know.
Yeah, I believe.
I don't think you can do that.
Yeah. What they want, there is a group of individuals out there that do want to be able to sue personally police officers.
I do get a bit of whiplash on how quick we went from getting rid of cops to we don't have enough cops.
Well, I mean, Washington's been
funny.
short-staffed for quite a while.
No, but I just mean the last 3 to 4 years, that conversation in Olympia specifically, that one wild session when everything got rolled back and restricted and all the new police reform laws. Ever since then, it's been, we need more.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, there were 10,000 officers understaffed at the beginning of last year's legislative
I think that
session.
was the number, yeah.
It was crazy. Yeah, but you ask officers to make life-altering decisions every single day, and I don't know, I have a hard time putting another layer of, is my family going to be out in the cold if I accidentally think this guy has a gun and he doesn't? I mean, I don't know. They have enough burden on them already. If they're bad cops, they need to be gone, I agree, but,
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's a balance there between get rid of the bad cops and provide extra layers of protection for maybe those bad cops.
Whoa.
I also think it should be easier to get rid of cops.
Absolutely.
When a supervisor
I
sniffs
think
one
I
out,
was
like a bad one.
I was also reading something today that in Washington State, there's still a rule for most hiring processes for cops that if you've smoked marijuana in the last year, it will get flagged and you are ineligible. It cannot be hired. Maybe they should do something about that.
Yeah,
Maybe you'd be able to hire more cops if that weren't such a hard line.
Well, if it's legal in the state to smoke marijuana, it seems like it should be
a restricting factor for.
Yeah, because they can still drink alcohol.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a. I guess I don't
But
know.
when has alcohol ever harmed anyone?
Yeah.
Marijuana is
something Aaron would
dangerous.
say here.
Marijuana is dangerous.
Anyway, that's what Jim Walsh is up to. Is he doing anything else? What else has he got going on in there?
I think he's behind the legislation to outlaw child marriage, I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Yeah, that was one of the first bills to move yesterday, which I think a lot of people learned, and a lot of people didn't, because I know there's been efforts to pass that. But yeah, you can get married at any age as a child in Washington with a judge's approval.
I hope that has strong support.
Hope it passes. Good, man. We're really
I didn't even
taking
know
some
about
strong
this.
stands here tonight.
Has this been a problem? I've never heard of it.
I think it's just one of those laws that's on the books that probably shouldn't have been in the book.
Loophole you should close,
Of course.
I mean, I think it's come up.
Yeah.
Usually they don't try to create a solution without a problem. So
Yeah.
I would think so. But we do have reporting on it on cronline.com. Far more accurate.
This is one of
than
those
anything I
things
say.
where I look at it, I'm thinking, is there other stuff that's more important than this? I mean,
Then banning child marriage?
no, then
I mean-
banning just like we have the opioid problem, the fentanyl issues, all of the with all the things coming up. I hadn't heard about it. I guess that's all.
Well, I mean, you'd probably
It's
feel
bad.
differently if one of your children was
Of
unwittingly
course.
married at 15.
No, of course. Boy, don't get me wrong, everybody. I'm not against children getting married. I just wonder if there's other more important stuff.
I don't know. Are
Good
you?
Lord. Yeah.
All right. Next item. This one was fun. Lewis County residents raised concerns over PUD's advanced meter replacement during first Meet the Manager meeting. So I wrote this first note, and then I read the story. And my first note was that based entirely on the photos, these meetings went exactly like you'd expect. A dozen or so retirees with nothing else going on in the middle of a weekday are frowning at a guy in a suit trying to explain technology. And it turned out that's exactly what the meeting was, and so much more. Concerns raised by those in attendance mainly revolved around health issues some believe are directly caused by radio waves emitted from the advanced meters producing electromagnetic field radiation. And that was most of the meeting and most of the story. These smart meters the PUD is rolling out do produce a small amount of radiation, but other things producing radiation include computers, Wi-Fi, cell phones, Bluetooth devices, power lines, and basically anything you could conceivably use to gather the information that smart meters are producing EMF radiation are on that list. So this is kind of like shouting at a kid vaping on the sidewalk and then blowing cigar smoke in their face.
I agree.
This story was everything I hoped it would be.
Yes.
Those were
It didn't have the alien
takes.
abduction. That's the only thing I was waiting for. Like, I've been abducted by aliens, and
the
they
worst
told me
part
that these
was-
meters, they cause like
I want to note I'm not making fun of these people. There's too many of them, and
Very
like
good.
there's a rich online trove of resources about opposition to the smart meters.
But again, to
Aaron
get
was
to that
here as I was
information.
researching before the podcast, and it took me 2 seconds to find a Harvard-educated doctor who agreed that they were dangerous.
He didn't agree.
I'm
they
not
were
saying
dangerous. He
I
agreed
believe
they-
it. I'm
he
just
agreed.
saying I'm not going to insult them. Like they're totally based on, like their concerns are baseless.
I like that. I'm not going to insult them, but my publisher is going to insult them. No,
idea. You're not insulting them.
I
The
am not
idea.
insulting them. But I have a good solution to this. I know somebody over at the PUD that has one of those. Is it a Geiger counter or some kind of a radiation or some kind of a meter?
Okay, go on.
Yeah, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to videotape his meter recording readings from one of these smart meters. And then I'm going to do the same thing when I make a phone call. And you will see the spike from the radiation emitted from my cell phone when I make a phone call is way greater than the kind of waves and radiation or whatever you call it emitted from one of these meters. We'll do it live. We'll have fun with it.
So
Unless you think that's a bad idea.
No, I love it. I absolutely love it. I was just trying to pull up the story.
Yeah.
I think the real hero here is PUD manager David Plotz,
Stud.
who has started
guy.
Well, I mean, he was getting consistent questions and concerns, and he decided to hold not one meeting, but I believe 4 meetings.
Yeah, that guy's
through the month
awesome.
of January. And these aren't short meetings; they're 3-hour like sit and listens. So
Yeah.
that's a commitment. I like it.
do you think Plotz closed the door to his office and stared out the window, and as we all have at one point, regretted coming home?
He may have. His wife probably is telling him that every night. She's like, why did you do this to me?
You know what? I've changed my tune actually, and we will be more observant of the EMF radiation and the problems that could cause in relation to this podcast.
Yeah.
And so we will be taking it offline. And from now on, this podcast will be available in cassette tapes that we will mail out to our listeners.
Yes.
And when you're done, you mail them back, and then we will re-record next week's episode on it because we're conservationists.
100%.
And so, yes, email us at chroniclenewsdump@gmail.com if you would like to become part of our analog subscriber.
You're going to have
list.
to make the cassettes now. If
Yeah,
someone
absolutely.
Send them out.
emails. It's kind
I
of a
don't even-
self-fulfilling.
I don't have the hardware to do that. I don't have a tape recorder.
Oh, man. I'm going to have to
I'm sure
buy
you could
some
find
hardware
one.
for this.
There's got to be one in this building somewhere.
Oh, there
There's
is.
one in this building.
There
Guarantee
has to
there
be.
is.
So yeah, that was what's going on at the PUD. And then the only other news item I've got in this section is Senator Murray tours First Mode Proving Ground. First Mode is the name of the company, and touts the company's efforts to decarbonize mining trucks. Patty Murray went and paid a visit to our savior, Old Man TransAlta. And it turns out First Mode, which I totally knew existed and was located out there, makes hybrid fuel cell battery power plants. And at the Centralia site, they retrofit trucks with hybrid batteries and hydrogen fuel cell engines.
Whoa,
Test them
hydrogen?
in real-world mining equipment.
Dropping the H-bomb.
Whoa, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa. Hey, you're about to get some hate from people out there. You
yeah,
say
we
that word
could.
too much.
I didn't know this place is out there, but it sounds cool.
Yeah,
It
there's-
is cool.
Yeah. Have you been out there, Chad?
Yeah. I went out there and toured the facility a couple of weeks ago. We didn't get to go down where they were retrofitting one of the big mining trucks, but
Was
up
it
in
because
the
you were
area.
scared of the radiation?
Yeah, I'm not going down there. I didn't have my Geiger counter or my radiation suit with me. If I would have, I definitely would have went down there. Absolutely. But then again, there's possible hydrogen activities going on down there, so that that worries me too. So I got to worry,
That hydrogen poisoning, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's scary.
Do you think Old Man TransAlta watched all this happen like through the curtain of his home?
Yeah, probably.
What do you think he thought about a politician out there on his property after what happened to his coal plant?
So mad.
Shaking his head from high up in TransAlta. I like to imagine he's got a hidden tower out there.
He does.
It's like
That's exactly how I pictured it.
It's what he lives in one of the windmills.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He personally turns them on and off.
He does.
But what other news stuff did I miss? I put these together over the weekend.
You didn't miss. You missed a whole lot. We got a lot of crime, a lot of non-news dumpy.
A
stuff.
lot of crime.
There's been some crime.
There's been some
I don't know what to tell you. There's been some crime.
People be criming.
Outside of my control, man. Let's say about it.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, we'll get to it in Tales and the Takes. But there was a nice Brandon Hansen, your friend and mine, our friend, Chad's
I like
friend
Brandon.
as well. We all love Brandon.
He's only my friend because we pay him money.
He wrote. That's very true.
But I'm totally
He
okay
did
with
get
that.
a lot friendly when he started working here.
Absolutely.
Towards me personally.
Yeah.
So, but he did a nice the Shaker Craftsman in Randall. It handcrafts high-end furniture using old world techniques. That was a very, very cool story. It's up on Cronline right now.
Cool.
His furniture is owned by 2 former presidents. So
Really?
nice stuff.
Which ones?
Cool.
But he the wood he uses dates back to 1600 in some cases.
Wow.
Yeah, only deals in old wood. I guess he does new wood too. But yeah, good story. A good story about wood.
That's awesome.
There's a weather story up there. High winds blew through southwest Washington on Tuesday. Possible rain and snow mix forecast for the rest of the week. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know what? You were right. It was windy.
It was.
I got a branch or a tree. Something has fallen on my roof of my house, and I got a picture of it a minute ago.
Just now this happened?
Apparently, it's
breaking news.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
This is
Breaking news. Tree on Chad's roof.
This is too perfect of a.
It's a big tree, man.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Oh, yeah. That's a big limb.
I thought this was just a
I know.
roof doctor segue.
Well, no.
It should be.
I'm going to have to call the roof doctor now because there's a tree on my roof.
Will you call
know-
the roof doctor and ask for a free estimate?
Absolutely. I don't need an estimate because I know that they're always fair with the prices that they charge.
And
No estimate needed.
Do you just hand them a signed check with the field,
Absolutely.
the field empty?
Yeah.
do your
Because I
thing,
know
fellas.
that
They're going to expect that now.
they will. But I always call the roof doctor. They're the ones that make house calls, right?
They sure are. The roof doctor asks, is your roof under the weather? And it sounds like there's a chance yours is.
It's definitely under something.
You can visit theroofdoctor.com to learn more and find out all about the services they offer. You can call them at 360-800-4755 or locally 360-736-0246. And as we mentioned, the Roof Doctor always provides you with a free estimate.
Do you think when they come out and give your free estimate, if it's a really good estimate, should you tip your estimator?
Probably maybe not the estimator, like the workers maybe?
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's a good
I
point.
just feel bad. It's a free service. They're coming out and giving me this estimate. It's not free everywhere, you know.
Should I
No,
tip?
no, it's not that. I don't know.
Wow. Mind blown. I have no idea.
Tipping culture, I don't know. It feels like it's getting a little out of control. I don't know about you guys.
It's way out of control. You buy a can of soda at the convenience store, and there's a line that says
There's a tip jar
10,
there?
15%. It's just a button you push now.
Oh, man.
Is that at Taylor and Sons Texaco?
Everywhere. I wish, man. If there was a tip jar when I was selling gas, man, I would. I could buy 3
cleaned up.
newspapers.
People forget Chad used to be a gas man.
Absolutely. I used to pump everybody's gas. Everybody. You come up to my service station, my parents' service station, who I sat. I say my service station. It was my parents. I say my money. It's really my wife's. So
Well, before he was publisher of the Chronicle, he was leading source for fuel price reasoning from local
Absolutely.
reporters. That's why I called him back in the day.
yeah.
Anything else before we jump to the break?
No, I don't think so.
All right, we'll be right back.
Hi, this is Jeff and Julie from Fairway Lanes.
Jeff and I met Jacek of Summit Funding at our bowling center, so when we fell in love with this community and it was time to relocate, we knew we would be calling Summit Funding.
They understand that everyone has a unique situation when buying a home.
He had already helped 2 of our employees get into their own homes. The Summit Funding team exceeded our expectations. It was a seamless experience with great communication from his whole team.
Thank you to Summit Funding for making our buying experience special and memorable.
All right, we're back from break, and at this point, we always move into segments. And first up is Tales from the Takes page, a.k.a. the opinion section, and I've selected 2 lovely columns. First of all, we've got Richard Stride, and his headline is, Maybe It's Time to Ask Yourself What You're Looking For. And I'd like to ask both of you, what are you looking for?
Okay, yes or no, that column includes a U2 quote.
I'm scrolling down, and he does list off, I still haven't found what I'm looking for.
There it is.
Maybe he should be asking himself.
I know what I'm listening to after this.
Can I share a little secret with you guys?
Oh, please.
I hate you two.
Yeah.
The band.
Yeah, no, I got you.
I only kind of dislike the 2 of you.
But how could you
U2.
hate them?
I just never liked them.
Nothing?
Nothing. No.
Jeez.
Not that fun.
He was
of
on a
Pearl Jam
date
either.
in high school. YouTube was
guess.
playing. I was like, oh.
No, it was. I had better taste than that. Yeah, I just never liked you two. I think that song sucks. Anyway, the other column.
I like Creed and Nickelback, so
Yeah, they're
Me
fine.
too.
They're fine. They've got
Shine
their
Down,
moments.
Smashing Pumpkins. Let's go.
Yeah.
tired of pretending I don't, to be honest.
And then Brian Mitke has a column titled "Lions Come Roaring Back to Tigertown," and this is about the Lions Club in Napavine, that Tigertown.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I like it. Greg Peterson is one of the organizers of it. He's always been a good source in the community. And
Voice
you
for
don't,
man.
Yeah, you don't hear of like the groups like this forming much anymore. So I like to. You love to see it.
This was a fastball down the middle for Mitke too.
Absolutely.
This topic for him.
Absolutely.
He loves a good
was.
civic organization. But yeah, good stuff from Mitke. Are you ready for this next one?
What's the next
Sirens Banger of the Week.
Oh
These
yeah,
are my favorite.
I have rewritten the headline. Like all 54-year-olds who live at home with their mother, this Centralia man celebrated January 6th by choking his brother in an argument about wearing face masks.
Come on, man.
Yes.
Let's see. The choker had COVID and came downstairs without a mask on, so his brother told him he was worried about their mom's health and he should be wearing a mask. The 2 argued until the sick guy grabbed his brother by the throat and threw him against the wall. I actually have a clip of that.
You and your mom are hillbillies. This is a house of learned doctors. You're not a doctor. You're a big, fat, curly-headed fuck.
Anyway, interesting stuff from those ones.
Yeah.
But anyway, the defendant said, quote, from the story, he went downstairs and his brother got into his face, so he grabbed him by the throat and shoved him into a wall, according to court documents. We actually have a clip from the moment just before that, too.
Robert better not get in my face. Because I'll drop that motherfucker.
Come on.
Jesus, Brennan.
Anyway.
You missed the clip. There's another clip on there you missed. It's the one where he was caught like playing with his drums.
I thought about throwing the drum set clip in there, but have a little fun with that one.
Yeah, a little too much fun, some would say.
No,
that was good. That was good.
Thanks a lot for adding that, by the way. You just added 1 hour to my editing time for YouTube tomorrow.
I do apologize to the listeners over the profanity. We have received several comments, and I hear you. I just can't rein Aaron in. That's been the
It's
problem.
impossible.
people talk, but
Yeah.
So what's the email address again? If you would like your edited cassette tape of each weekly episode of the News Dump.
Chronicle News Dump at gmail.com. We have yet to receive an email. Anyway, People's Champion of the Week. We've got Centralia High School grad Lucy Nowicki, who joined the UW Marching Band on their trip to the National Championship, which was last night in... Where did they play? Where was that? Houston?
New Orleans, wasn't it?
No, that was the semifinals. I thought they were in Texas. I really should know this, but Anyway, she's a band member. They attend all home football games, and they can volunteer to play paid gigs, including events on campus, as well as weddings or retirement parties. Very cool story. Do you guys have any People's Champion nominees?
No, I like those. I think they were on my short list.
All right. Shall we get to Facebook comments of the week?
Yes.
Man, you really spent some time in there this week.
I saw the notes. This is great.
I was down in the content mines.
I don't see these.
I came out dirty and grubby and hating humanity as always. On the 3.0 earthquake last week, kind of near Mount St. Helens, sort of, this commenter said, that can't be a good sign. Is that the early signs she's waking up and pissed about all the crap that's gone on since she last went off?
It's been a...
What do you think a mountain would be upset about?
I don't know, since 1980.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I can tell you a thing or two.
There's a lot.
It would upset me if I were a mountain.
Yeah.
Let's see. On the promotions at the sheriff's office, I think we covered this last week. The comment says, nepotism and Snoz's Brady Bunch. What could possibly go wrong with the chief of operations and the evidence manager being married to each other?
Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting question.
Don't even know if it's true. So, good question. Aaron says he finds a random comment on the internet.
He's like,
just asking questions.
Yeah. The sources are strong.
On the Lewis County Farm Association hosting a talk about a dam outside PL, this commenter says it's been talked about for years. It's never going to happen. Some eco-tree huger, spelled hugger wrong, type group will determine that the dam will be a threat to some garbage fish or eel living in the river, and that'll be the end of the discussion. Just another way to waste tax dollars. Then another commenter said, how many homes will be flooded out by the new man-made lake? And then somebody responds, none. And then somebody responds to that guy and says, they don't care. what?
So there's nobody up there. Yeah, nobody up in PL that's going to be going underwater for this.
No.
I don't believe so. I don't know. I haven't looked at
their proposal doesn't flood any houses. It does, however, flood a couple of trees, if you're worried about that. Mm-hmm. But they do come back when they let the water out of the retention facility.
You know what? Let's take it back to the olden days. Let's build a dam that does flood a city.
You want to go back to Cosmos?
Yeah, you know what? I don't know. Where do you guys want to start?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Aberdeen?
Aberdeen sounds good.
We're going that big.
I mean, Aberdeen's huge. That'd be an ocean we're flooding.
Yeah. See ya, Salcombe.
Callback.
You're out.
Your beef with Aberdeen. That's probably where you would put it.
That was a long time ago.
Is it your Kurt Cobain beast?
No, I'll tell you the story.
I love it. Yeah. We don't need any more profanity.
No, he just basically trashed Aberdeen on. Or was it the whole county or just Aberdeen?
I think it was. I can't remember.
Burned him on Twitter.
It was Aberdeen.
That was all.
And a comment on last week's podcast. I think this is from our good friend Bill Saran, actually. He said, Full House and Mineral, Commissioner Brummer, Planner Mindy Brooks, and Assistant District Attorney Barb Russell, all very professional and explained the situation very well. There was no cauldron of hot tar and bin of chicken feathers outside the Legion Hall, but Commissioner Swope didn't show anyhow. Great reporting on the rezone issue by reporter Mitchell Rowland. He obviously is experienced and has a wide bandwidth. I agree. Mitchell did a nice job.
He did do a good job.
Mitchell's wonderful. He got a compliment from a listener last week.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, he's good. Bill's funny. I like Bill. He's been having a lot of fun with ChatGPT lately.
He's
had a lot of funny artwork on.
And on the mineral meeting about the YMCA rezone, which we covered on here last week, this is a shortened comment. It was much longer and more in-depth, but I pulled out part of it. I find it hard to believe that I learned more about how to avoid a misstep like this in 1 week of training at a bank than our commissioners do before they take the job. Fair point. And this comment...
Before, even though I see you've taken precautions, I do want to note that we don't know if anything in this comment is true. As all of our comments. But this one has especially detailed, so I figured I would throw that out there.
Is it a big, long comment?
It's a long comment.
A longer comment. And yeah, we won't say who they're talking about here, but this commenter says, once he threw a conniption over the fairgrounds reader board having signage for an event called the Fantasy Festival and demanded it be changed to an alternate name without the consent of the event organizers. This caused panic for them as the alternate name chosen was breaking copyright laws. And then in parentheses, it says Hobbit Festival. This wasted hours of county staff time, changing the sign multiple times, calming down event staff, and negotiating a peaceful resolution. Why? Because his mind immediately went from fantasy to sex. He truly believed that the fairgrounds was hosting a sex festival, or at least that everyone would assume so. Maybe on his hunt through the library, he should have stopped by the fantasy section and ripped down the signage. There are countless instances of his personal demons and insecurities driving county policy decisions.
What is it that offended you about the fantasy festival that you went to these great lengths, Aaron?
Yeah.
Look, guys,
Why didn't you like it?
we
Jeez,
need
man.
to have the discussion. Is a sex festival at the fair the worst idea?
Aaron wants to wear his latex outfits to work. That's what it is. Good Lord.
Hobbit Festival is just hilarious to me. I don't know why.
Hobbit Festival?
Yes. Just a bunch of people with bare, dirty feet walking around.
I don't know. Just how that would get thrown out and accepted as a replacement. It's just the idea.
What is the
cracks me up.
fantasy festival?
That's like it's not like a Renaissance fair, but kind of similar to it.
Like people with elf ears on and shit, probably.
Oh, I think I went. I think I accidentally went to that after a gun show once.
Emily.
Accidentally went to what you thought was a sex
It
festival.
looks,
Hello.
It's a very wholesome. I mean, Emily's covered it for us before. It's
Yeah.
very wholesome, kid friendly. They've got games and things like that. It looks like a lot
That
of fun.
wasn't the one I went to.
But yeah.
Oh, you went to an
No, this one had like
This was a different
this one was
fantasy
a little weird. I don't know. There was like demons and stuff all the way around. It was weird. It was like a Halloween, like it was, but way.
Do you remember?
What Halloween should not be.
Do you remember when the fairgrounds hosted like Monster Festival like 20 years
Yes,
ago?
yes.
I didn't go, but I remember it was a big hubbub. People were all up in arms about it.
I didn't know people were mad about it, but I remember it.
Yeah. Anyway,
Oh well, people get mad about all sorts of stuff.
remember some festivals on this episode of News Dump.
I guess
Willie Nelson was here one time at the fairgrounds.
Yeah,
he was.
he had his own fantasy festival, I bet. Anyway, that's been comments of the week. What's coming up in? I guess what's in Thursday's paper? This is a Thursday morning podcast now.
It was a Wednesday night podcast is what you committed to.
Wednesday?
Yeah. What's in the paper? We'll have, I hate to tell you this, but a little bit more crime. Just a little bit.
Oh,
yeah, I know.
Why don't you do something about
then
that?
there will be a lot of legislative coverage. Mitchell, who we mentioned earlier is awesome, is been up at the Capitol all day today for the State of the State, which I was shocked to learn you did not watch.
I was working.
To assess the quality of your employment.
Did that already happen?
I don't know. Like if there was a state of the
At the
Chronicle
time this
address,
goes live, yes, it
did.
it definitely did. We got lots of good stuff.
All right. We're going to wrap it up there. We are, of course, sponsored by Summit Funding, The Roof Doctor, and Chehalis Outfitters. Leave a review and rating on Apple Podcasts if you want, and send us an email at chroniclenewsdump@gmail.com. And Chad, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I'm excited about your new format. I'm excited to see it blossom.
And with thanks, Chad.
It's a happy laugh.